Hey guys, Alex here, Elevated Lifestyle Lab. This episode is sponsored by us today, Elevated Lifestyle Lab Supplement Company. We have officially launched our full line of supplements. We have everything from your multivitamins to your proteins, creatines, pre-workouts, and much more. Today we're offering you guys a discount code of 15% off anything on our website. Go to elevatedlifestylelab.com, enter code Runnersformiracles, and receive your 15% off. Again, go to elevatedlifestylelab.com, enter coupon code Runnersformiracles in the coupon code box on the checkout screen, and receive 15% off. Hope you guys enjoy. What is going on, guys? It is Monday, 9:38. After post-race, just got done with the 3 days at the fair, which is a 6-day event here in New Jersey on the Sussex Fairgrounds, a 145-hour run. Oh man, what a week. What a week it has been. I started this race thinking that with high expectations, had a game plan, and then a bunch of curveballs came throughout the week. So we started Monday morning at 9 a.m. and started Monday morning 9 a.m. We came in early last weekend. Me and Jason set up our tent on Sunday. Our boy Todd came through, and he lives in about an hour and 2 hours north of here, and he came and gave us all of our gear that we needed, which was huge. And then we got set up, and we came back Monday, started. My game plan was to do 20 miles every 5 hours with an hour break in between, and then to equal anywhere from 50 to 60 miles per day. That was my game plan. Anything over 300 was kind of where I was shooting for. So we started Monday, 9 a.m., gun went off. I hit first 20 miles in like 4.5 hours. So I knew I was going a little faster than I should. Took an hour off, went back out. Next 20 miles, just shy of 5 hours. Then I took another hour off, and I went back out for another 10 miles, and then came back in, slept for a few hours, got back up by, I think it was like 5 maybe, and got the remaining 10 miles in. No, actually, I did the 10, went to sleep, got back up at 3, did the other 10, was able to go back to sleep again at 6:30 and get back out at 9, which was the new start of the 24-hour block. And I felt great that whole day. I walked all morning for about 45 miles, 50 miles. And then the last 10 hours of that block, I was already ahead of schedule so much. I'm like, well, let me just walk it. Why not just walk it? Eliminate pounding on my legs. It was cold out. I felt fine though. I had no aches, no pains. Went back in, rested, started the new 24-hour block on Tuesday. I was pumped. The sun was out. I'm like, it's a good day. I got some rest. I'm like, it was easy peasy. And I got back out Tuesday at 9:15, and started each lap equals 1 mile. And I got maybe 4 or 5 miles in, and my right knee had I call it like a little twinge in it, like, something's going on. And I'm like, that's strange. The only time I felt this type of pain is when I did it was a race in Stuart, Florida, Martin County, up Cantor Highway, and it was on the side of a road the whole time, and the unevenness of the road was putting an enormous amount of pressure on my right knee. So this is the only time I had felt that before. And as I will learn, I guess it was the patella that's kind of getting stressed out. So Tuesday, 5 miles in, day 2, patella starts acting up, and I'm like, man, that's weird. It's like I only hit like 64 miles over a 30-hour period, so it's not like, I'm not pushing it hard. So I, run, walk, and it became just real achy. And it came on pretty fast, man. I took some ibuprofen. It helped briefly, and that's when it's weird. Normally, ibuprofen will cover up those little twinges and give you like a little window, at least in my experience. This time, no, it didn't buy me any time. So I'm like, this is weird. So I put on a knee brace, put it on. It didn't help much, and I just started walking a little bit, trying to reevaluate the situation. And it just became increasingly worse and worse, and ibuprofen didn't help. And I'm like, man, what the fuck? Like, it's just day 2. Like, oh man. So I ended up just walking that day, and it just became worse and worse. I would try to run, and it would just aggravate it tenfold, right? Like how it would feel when I was walking, it was 10 times worse if I tried to start jogging again. So I'm like, let me just walk. I'm gonna just give it a break, take a few more breaks. And I still was able to get 56 miles that day. So I was still on pace. So I was at 116 going into day 3. And all I could do was walk, man. All I could do was freaking walk. And it was in pain. Nothing was helping it. And it was so cold out. And I wasn't able to run. So it was like, you could run, you could get body, get warm and stuff. But it was like, it was terrible. So Monday, ibuprofen not helping. Now my left knee is starting to feel twingy. I'm like, come on, man. So it was just the walking game from there on out, guys. It was torture, because you know what you could do going into these things. It's not like I'm sprinting hard at all, right? So it's not like you're gonna you feel like you're gonna burn yourself out or something. It's like a very slow jog, walk, run, jog. It's not like I'm overstressing my body. Then you get these little twinges that just stop that. You can't do it anymore. And then trying to walk. I mean, just imagine walking 18 hours a day, around a 1 mile loop. It gets so frustrating. So Wednesday, all day walking and in pain. I ended up putting 2 knee braces on my right knee. Jason had one that had some straps that you could put the knee brace on and then double strap it to put pressure on wherever you wanted to. So I would come up and strap it so the pressure was underneath and push on that patella to give it some release. That wasn't working, so I put my other knee brace on top of that knee brace, and it really held it snug, and it worked to walk. But then when I realized a few hours later, my freaking calf and foot were swollen like a softball, man. It was because it was so tight. So I had to be careful with that, pop it off and on, off and on. Then I put a knee brace on the left leg. Excuse me. Then I had another knee brace on the left leg. So now I'm just hobbling, man. Hobbling around, wondering, is it gonna get better? Going to the 3rd night, which is Wednesday night, and it was the coldest night. It was the most coldest, miserablest night, and that's where I got this, you hear this little twinge in my throat too. I think I got a cold that night because it was unbearably cold. It got down to the low 30s, which for me, I'm not used to that weather. I haven't been in that weather in so long, especially already. Immune system dropped, your body's exhausted, limited sleep. So we were running, we would try to go out and run for a lap or 2, walk, and it was cold to the bone. I would walk a lap and come back in. Todd brought us, we had an electric heater, like a tower, and we had a propane heater that we had to light, and it would have, the propane would be igniting a heater, more of like a commercialized that he uses at his kettle corn events. And we would have to turn that on just to slightly get warm, and then go back out for it and back in. And it was miserable, man. So Jason was doing the 3-day. He was ending that next day, Thursday. That was his end time for his 72-hour event. So he ended. I'm still walking. Todd starts his 12-hour. Our boy Todd starts his 12-hour Thursday morning at 9 when Jason's ending at 9. So it was cool to see Todd come down. He was going to rock out and do a 12-hour. Jason was over with his, and I'm still walking. So walk all day. Todd's killing it. Jason's now free to try to help me out with whatever he can. Mental support, any advice whatsoever. He was able to be there. And then Todd gets done, and I remember it was just when he got done Thursday night, about about 82 hours into the event, and I was walking a lap, and I'm thinking to myself, like, what am I doing out here? It is day 4, in mid of day 3, 80 hours in. I had walked had only been able to run like 15 hours literally of the event. And I'm like, what am I doing out here, right? Like, if you've been through these long races, you've probably went through the same thing. Like, what am I doing? You're in pain. Things aren't going your way. It was cold out. It was miserable out. And I'm just thinking to myself, what the fuck am I doing out here? And I knew Todd just finished his race.
He had a good run, and I knew he was leaving, and he wasn't going to be able to come back till Sunday. And all his stuff we're using is he was coming back to get it. So the mind starts making deals, right? The mind starts, oh, what if we quit tonight? Todd's here right now. He can pack his stuff, change your flight, get out of here. Let's just get home, right? So I'm walking. I'm thinking about this as I'm walking the lap, and I know Todd's done in the tent with Jason. And I go in, and I'm just like, and at that point my knee was really hurting. I was in limp mode. It wasn't even able to just walk normal anymore. It was like hobbling, taking forever to get around the loop, in pain, freezing cold, miserable. People aren't donating on the webpage, so I'm like, what am I even doing out here? This whole thing is supposed to be surrounded by our Runners for Miracles campaign, raise money. Nobody's donating. What the fuck am I doing out here? I'm not hitting any goals. I'm spending a lot of money, time from a family away, time from my wife away. You start questioning all that shit, and your mind starts making deals with you. So I go back to the tent, and I'm like, so let me ask you guys something, because I know it's the only time before you leave, Todd. And I'm like, so what if I call it? What if we call it? Todd will pack up, put your shit in the truck tonight, so you don't have to come back Sunday. And let's just call this thing. Like, I'm in pain. I don't know what's going on. I don't want to blow it out, meaning it was too early in the race, halfway through, and it started even, day 2, to where it's like, yes, I could have pushed it. Yes, I could have probably pushed it till I fell down or couldn't walk anymore, or blew out a ligament or a joint or patella or whatever. But it's too early in the race. There's no meaning behind that. I'm gonna injure myself, and possibly require surgery or a long rehab time, and for what? I'm not competing. It's simply for raising money and doing my personal best as far as miles wise. So it's like, what? I'm not going to do that either. Like I told them, I'm not going to try to run and try to push it and hurt myself to where I get back next week. I either can't walk on it, I can't go work because I detail cars still during the day, so I can't bend down and work or get around. It's hurting too bad. So that's all. Everything's going on, right? And that's what I'm telling them. I'm telling Jason and Todd this, and it's funny looking back, hindsight now. It's like I've always told people to just take time off from these long races because you have so long. I'm only a little over halfway through. I still have 3 days left. I got so much time, right? So long story short, Jason and Todd both told me, look, we're not leaving. Todd said, I'm not packing up tonight. It's too much shit. Jason said, we're not leaving because as a brother, I'm going to tell you the DNF did not finish on your record. Feels like shit. You're going to get home in a few days after you do this, and you're going to be like, why did I just not stick it out? Todd said the same thing. And I knew this if you would ask me that before the suffering kicks in. But when that little voice, that little bitch voice starts talking to you, you start making deals with yourself. So I said, okay, all right, so we're in. And Jason said, just take the whole night off, go to sleep, stay off your knee. It was like 9:30, just stay off as long as you want. So I did. I slept pretty good that night, at least 6-7 hours, but I was off my knee for, I think, a total of 10 hours because the time clock, you can tell how long you do since your last lap, and it was like 10 hours. I took almost 10 hours off my feet. It helped a little bit. It helped me get back out there. I was able to go back out. I busted out a marathon distance that day, so I got like 28. I got 28 miles the next day. And that was Friday. Saturday, the last 24 hours, I'm like, you can see the end now. We had some good conversations even that night that I got the marathon. Jason was done with his race at this time. He was able to play some music in our tent, provide some good energy for the runners out there. We had compression boots. We had the whole get up set up. We have the heater. So we were inviting people in. We were offering food and snacks and drinks, and Jason was massaging. I shouldn't say we. Jason was there doing it. And I would pop in and out, and if people needed to wear the compression boots, if they needed a massage gun, and that leads to conversations that you go to these events for. You get these little nuggets of wisdom or experience from these people that take the time to stop and talk, and you become friends as well. So, thank goodness I didn't pack up and leave, because even that next day, so when the sun came up and I'd had that much rest, it's a new day, man. It's a new day, and I knew that going in. You always have to look at these long events. Like, you don't have to, you just wait it out. Just go get off your feet for half a day, whatever. Go do it. Just get off. You can even leave the property if you want. If you wanted to go freaking check into a hotel and sleep it off and get a good breakfast and then come back and reevaluate. And I'm glad I did, because that led to us getting to know some of the runners out there, and sharing some stories and making friends. And that's what this thing was all about. So then the last day, the last 24 hours, my knee problems were still a little achy, but now it was able to be mitigated with ibuprofen. So I was able to start, like I call it, shuffling again, right? Just nice and easy, kind of light jogging. And that's when this kind of cold came in, and my throat became super sore and super dry because of all the cold air. And I think it stems from that late Wednesday night, because then my nose started running Thursday, a little bit heavier Friday, and then my throat started on Saturday. So the minute I could start jogging again on Saturday, my throat was like ripping off, because when I would start breathing a little bit harder from doing that, it was just, every breath was just like breathing in freaking glass, man. No good. Got some cough drops. I had these caramel candies that I would suck on. I had some throat lozenges, but too many of those, it just becomes, it almost flips it, especially with the throat lozenges, because then it gets super sensitive to any air. So man, I couldn't win. So it was a grind. I was, my last day, 24-hour period, I was going to shoot to get like 45 miles to beat my PR, which was 243 miles 6 months ago. And I got to like 227 the night before. So I just needed about 20 miles the next day, and my throat was done, man. I was over it at this point. I got some sleep that night. It wasn't as cold that night. It kind of warmed up just a hair, but still pretty cold. But I was done with it at that time. Why am I going to risk, get pneumonia this time? It's like, at this point, I'm here for the experience. I'm here for the people. I'm here to try to, raise some money for a good cause, to inspire some others. So let's just enjoy this last like 12 hours here and make the best of it. So I was done. I did one more lap when we got up, maybe 2 more laps. And I stopped doing that at about 2 hours before the 9, which was the end of it. And we just started kind of breaking down and talking to people. And then we got to go down, and me and Jason was taking pictures. I was doing video, which I'm going to share throughout this thing. And just to see the people come across the finish line, and some of these people hit their best PRs. You can see the emotion in their face. Some people never ran a 6-day, completed a 6-day. Another racer's daughter out there that's been running laps all week. That's where like all the build up for these races. You want to see some special moments and some places that'll hit you, like here. Go watch the finish line of a multi-day race, and man, it just fills you up. It fills you up if see these older people out there, 81 years old, doing a 6-day run, completing it probably for their 400th time. Just to see, records being broken out there. It's really a treat. It's really a treat. And then the race director, Rick and Jen, husband and wife, Rick was, getting emotional, talking, even just introducing like the award ceremony and stuff afterwards. And like, that's what it's about, man. Like, just to see this raw emotion after suffering for 6 days, and see all the joy on people's faces that it's over, but it was a great accomplishment. And looking back at the people you met and the experiences you have, and it all comes in waves because it's still so early. This is just 24 hours after it ended as I'm talking to you now. So I'm gonna be regurgitating this all week, and really trying to pull some nuggets out of it. Definitely got to go back to the drawing board. I'm gonna let my knees heal up. I gotta definitely go back to the drawing board, because it's I knew I had to train more. I wasn't training nearly as much as I should have, but definitely more than what I put out. But that's a different time, different day. I'm just gonna try and sit on what happened last week, reminisce about some of the experiences and what I learned, and then I'm about to fly out. I gotta head to the airport here in a couple hours. Gonna get home and try to get back in the groove of things. Gotta get back to work, and I will follow up with another podcast with you guys. I'm going to try and do a few podcasts with a few of the runners that I met out there. They had some really crazy stories, and you guys will really enjoy it. So thank you guys, anybody that donated through this week. Keep supporting. We're going to be doing multiple races through the year. Still going to do a few 100-milers in there, and then still the 6-day at Icarus in Fort Lauderdale in November. And so keep your eyes out for those guys. Keep inspiring others. Keep pushing forward. Know you can always do more. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, share this, and follow us on social media so you can see any upcoming events and upcoming races and just see what we're doing day to day. Stay tuned, guys. See you later.